Guys, N6 here, and welcome to another Marvel Spider-Man video. So today we're actually going to do episode 2 of Marvel Spider-Man Season 2, called Take 2. So let's begin. We start the episode off with a good view of Oscorp Academy that's being rebuilt, but that's just the outside, and the inside is more interesting, because in the inside we see our boy Spider-Man, or Peter Parker, if you want to call him that. We see our boy Spider-Man facing off against Paladin. One of the new recurring, or not new recurring, but like one of the people of the Wild Pack, that apparently, like, he's a member of the Wild Pack that, is a group that, I don't really know their history about, but what I can tell, basically, there seems like they're a group in the Marvel Universe, which is kind of explanatory, which has consistent members. So, what they're fighting about, it seems like basically they're just fighting because Peter has seen Paladin take something, or Paladin is just getting the building in danger, or something. I can't really remember that badly, but I can tell you that whatever Paladin did, it's not a good thing. So in the process of trying to find Paladin, Peter actually decides this is a good opportunity to pull out his webcam. Get it? Webcam? Original joke. Either way, the battle goes as follows. Peter references a bunch of three people: Einstein, Newton, and Edison. Three people that he looks up to, and that he actually recurs them and tells Paladin that basically they never gave up, and that he's not gonna give up either when they're fighting. Long story short, Peter / Spider-Man wins the battle, and he rips out of Oscorp Academy with Paladin webbed up to the ground. What is known is that little in the outskirts with binoculars, we see are basically the leader of the Wild Pack, the Silver Sable of this universe. We then cut to Peter making his way towards his school, Horizon High, with the back to school night thing, because his summer's over now, so he's gonna head back to school as a sophomore this time. And then we actually do see him actually reviewing the footage that he took with the webcam against Paladin. But that doesn't look good, because apparently he has no good footage to get to the Bugle. But he then gets a call from Harry with a FaceTime, because apparently FaceTime is always good for these episodes. So in this little FaceTime conversation they're having, Peter's telling Harry about his troubles on getting money for the Daily Bugle for his tuition for Horizon High. But actually Harry sees this and actually tells Peter that he can help him by helping him with the money problems. But Peter tells him he doesn't need his help because he's done enough for him already, which I see really good to see that Peter doesn't actually need. Or like he's telling Harry that he doesn't need his help because he's done enough for him already, and he's gonna earn it by Peter actually putting in photos for the Daily Bugle. That is, unless basically he can get good pictures. But during this whole thing, unlike normal people where basically they have no instructions, Peter has a big instruction when Dr. Octopus comes out of nowhere. But we already know that basically Peter has to hang up on Harry because it's fighting time. So what happens next is that actually the Miles security robots actually engage on Doc Ock, but as we all see, his robots don't actually put up a fair fight, and actually when Doc Ock actually starts beating them all up and starts destroying them, he actually launches one near Gwen, and when Peter thinks he's not going to be able to make it to her, Doc Ock surprisingly one of his technos comes out of nowhere and destroys the robot, and it's revealed that basically Doc Ock is not there to fight, but instead there to make amends with Max Modell, and is actually there for forgiveness, and has actually decided to actually have an idea for him to come back as a teacher over there at Horizon High, but Max Modell says he cannot be there after all the things that he's done. So Otto sees this, and instead of actually just leaving, he asks if he can go inside to his office and actually take out his stuff. That way he can go take his stuff away from Horizon High to wherever he's living. But he's gonna need a security robot to go with him because they don't trust him at all. The next few shots go like this. Max Modell reveals a new invention for the Skull to make. Anya is trying to figure out a way how to revert Alexei back to himself from the Rhino. Max Modell and Peter Parker learning on how to actually talk about Peter Parker staying in tuition fees. And we see Peter Parker making a new invention to help him take pictures for the Daily Bugle instead of using the webcam. Now, in the next shot, we see Silver Sable break into Horizon High to steal the invention that Max Modell has told the whole school what they're gonna make, and then Spidey comes out of nowhere and stops her. But this time she ain't alone, because this time she brought over Paladin, but not only Paladin, but also the whole Wild Pack. and they actually duke it out for a little bit until basically so Sable has said basically that they copied his moves and that, or like they researched his moves or they studied his moves and they escape, and then we see Doc Ock actually being tangled up, and it seemed, and he actually says that basically he's actually tried stopping them, but he failed in the process. So after Spidey actually sets Doc Ock free from his captivity, Doc Ock and him have a little moment where basically it shows that Spidey can't trust Dr. Octopus because he actually can't trust him from all the things that he's done, and then Doc Ock actually recites some things or refers to some things that people that Peter looks up to, like Edison, Albert Einstein, and Newton. He refers back to them, and like it shows that basically he can actually have a second chance, but then since basically Otto doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man, he just thinks that that Spider-Man doesn't know what he's talking about, and then he decides to leave, and then Peter actually has just stays there and just wondering what the heck to do. And after that, the next day we see him actually researching on some of the Wild Pack, until basically he remembers that he has to get the video that he took during his fight with the Wild Pack to the Daily Bugle to get the money. So when he goes there, he actually goes to Jameson, and it's crispy. It's very crispy to the point where basically he even calls in Eddie Brock and tells him that Peter took better footage than Eddie Brock can, and Peter is still in high school. I'm pretty sure there's a big moment of embarrassment going through Eddie Brock right there, and that what's even amazing is that we actually get to see Betty Brant in this. Sadly, she doesn't have any speaking roles, but she is there. She'll probably have speaking roles later in the future, but she actually gives Peter his paycheck, and it shows that basically that Peter's so close to actually finishing off the payment of the tuition. So the next few scenes go as follows. Max Fidel and the rest of the group are trying to find a way to actually find the invention that was taken from them by Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. Spidey actually tries out and goes trying to find the invention that was taken by Horizon High from the Wild Pack. But he does find it, but instead he actually gets found by the Wild Pack, who actually start to find him until basically Doc Ock comes out of nowhere and helps Spidey take down the Wild Pack one by one, until the point where basically Silver Sable decides to actually get out of there with the invention onto a plane, where Spidey and Doc Ock have a little conflict between blowing up the invention or trying to rescue it. And then Peter makes a little reference towards one of the three geniuses that I've been referring to all this freaking episode, and goes out and fights Silver Sable, which he does turn out on top, and then returns the invention back to Max Modell to Horizon High. Otto can be able to actually leave, though he spots Alexei, and he says that he'd be able to actually turn Alexei back from the Rhino to his normal self with the power of the new invention, which he does do, and is actually seen as a hero now, or as a good guy now, and is actually let him back into Horizon High. And at the end of the day, Peter actually overhears some Daily Bugle news that basically apparently the footage that Peter sent in has been used as a way to use against him as a menace, which he doesn't find very pleasant. But then he has his friends who tell him that basically it's all good and that he just has to look towards the future. And then with that, the episode ends. So that's where basically I put in my opinion on what I think of the episode. What I thought about the episode was that it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best one, like with the last episode, but I would say that basically it was a good episode. Now, to rate all these two, which one was the better episode of Season 2, because we all know there's been 2 episodes released, this one and the other one that I made with the Impressions video. Which one was the best one, or which one was my favorite one, or which one did I think was better than the other? I would personally say that maybe the first one, or it's either this one or the other one that was actually a better one of the 2 that came out today. So mine's undecided, but it's probably going to be one or the other. Tell me below what you guys think of the episodes. If you did like them, tell me in the comments below that you liked them. If you didn't like them, tell me the reason why you didn't like them. And that, if you're going to say you didn't like them, please don't use a overused excuse saying, it's not spectacular. I've heard that excuse many, many times before. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy. See you guys later. Bye-bye.